YouTube, this video is if you have an ice maker in your fridge. Mine is a Kenmore Elite refrigerator. Bought it in like 2006. And I've had issues with the ice maker. This is probably the 5th time. So that's what this video is on. Essentially, I've taken this out of the refrigerator that you can see straight in front of you over there. And what used to be here is this right here. Back this up a little bit. This right here. And essentially it just mounts on like that. And it's a timer. And this is what heats up the ice. Because this is, working, you can see these wires back here, and I'll kind of explain a little bit better. Basically, when this thing's plugged in, and I'm trying to turn it around, I got the camera in front of me, so this would plug into your refrigerator. There's a plug inside the freezer area that just plugs right into here, and then there's a cover that goes over this whole thing right here, so you don't really see it anymore. But this part right here, I don't know what it's made of. Feels like ceramic or something like that. I don't know. But obviously, water will come in here, fill this tray, and then it will freeze because it's in the freezer. And then the ice will form. Why it's also got electricity going through it is once the ice forms, you need to get them out of there. And this mechanism right here will heat up just a little bit so that they release from the, the chambers that they're in. And then on this timer, this thing will just, continue to turn and push them out. They'll fall in here and then down into your ice tray. Do they fall in here? No. Actually, I don't know how it works. I'm guessing it turns like this. And somehow, as they turn, as this keeps turning, I'm trying to do it while I'm, it pushes them out. If this was in your refrigerator, it would look just like this. And it can't fall into that big tray back there. I'm guessing, I don't think it can go this way because it wouldn't push them out. Or if it does, yeah, it must turn this way. I can't imagine it going this way, backwards, because it would make them want to fall that way. So somehow, if it turns this way, yeah, they'll come up, fit between these little pieces, I guess, and just slide right down here into your the area that catches the ice. If it goes the other way, that's fine too. I don't know. Either way, you get the point. The ice gets pushed out, falls down into the thing that catches it all. So that stopped working. I just noticed I'm not getting any ice. And the reasoning why is this guy right here. I've had to replace it numerous times. I've also fixed them, and I've put some videos on here how to do it. You have these little areas that you can test as well to make this function and to see what's wrong. But I found that it's kind of a waste, and I have a video on there to do that, how to test these. But what I found over time, is if you look closely, you'll see these dark areas right where my thumb is. One here. These are contact points, and what happens is over time they just fail. And if I get closer here, you can see that they kind of are burned. So I've actually soldered them before, and if you see how this one looks a little closer than that piece that's up there to this one, so technically I could fix this again, which, like I said, I have done, and just squeeze them back together again. Another thing that you can do is I have this like little sandpaper here, and if I get close into here, you'll see this one right here, how dark it is compared to that, you know, copper look there. These are what's touching those areas in this one here. So you can sand these off, which I'm going to do. Now I have, because this has happened so many times, I bought another one. So I had it on standby. You get these on eBay, and you just need to know the number for yours. I think there's a number up there. Probably will coincide with this one here. Yep, 51031. So I just basically bought the same thing, and I had it on standby because, you know, it kind of stinks when you run out of ice. And if you have another one, I think they're like $20, $25. This last one that I've used has lasted quite a while, actually. Surprising. But that's all you have to do. You know, if you didn't have one on standby, what I would say to do, and I'm going to do this after I put the new one in. First, I'm going to sand these off, make them shiny again. Then I'm going to put the new one on. And then to have this one kind of in standby, I will probably buy another one anyway. I'm going to sand these up and try and squeeze these closer to each other so that it will make the connection. Because basically what's happening without this working properly, obviously it tries to turn, and it won't turn because the connection is screwed up. And then so this doesn't heat up. If this doesn't heat up and this keeps trying to turn, it just goes, and it kind of wears that mechanism out. So there's really no problem with any of this. The problem is always that. I have also replaced this whole thing, so this is a new one, because I had done this so many times. I'm like, well, maybe there's something going on, you know, with this guy here. Like, why isn't it heating up or whatever? But what I found after doing that, I replaced this whole unit, and it happened again. Like, this was a brand new one. And it happened within like 3 months. So the fix has always been just buy more of these. And that's essentially what I do. So like I said, I'm gonna heat this up. Not heat it up. I'm going to clean this up, all these contacts. And then as you see on this one, you know, it's all nice and clean. You can see how they're closer together, the contacts in there, compared to the other one. So like I said, I'm just gonna clean those up. There's another contact up here where my thumb is, one here, and one down here. And just because it's all copper, as you can see, and that electricity has to flow through the whole thing in order for it to work. And when it burns up, you kind of lose that, you know, ability for it to travel. But you can see how far apart they are here, and kind of here as well compared to the new one. So like I said, what I'm going to do is just sand this all up in there, see if it's salvageable, and keep it on standby just in case. I will buy another new one, but I'll probably try it, you know, before I do that. I mean, I could even just clean it up, put it back together, and, you know, save the new one and see how long I can get this to last, which it's really simple to take this apart. I mean, once you get this unit out of there, you just have to unplug that plug. I mean, you'll see it if you have the same refrigerator. You unplug it, you remove the case off here, it's a little plastic thing, unplug it, and then this whole unit just slides out. This white housing here covers over this whole unit once you have this piece on, and it's only 3 screws. And if you're taking it apart, you might have a hard time getting it off. So what I did is I just used like a screwdriver to kind of pry and keep prying all the way around. And the reason why is it's kind of fried together to those contact points. So it's stuck on these contacts, because you can see how it's kind of like burned, charred. So you might have a hard time pulling it off. Not majorly, but I'm just telling you, it will just pull straight out once those 3 screws are out. If it does give you a little bit of a hard time, that's the reason why. It's because it's stuck on these contact points, because it was essentially burning there because it kept trying to turn. This is the thing that makes the ice come out. This turns. And when you put this back together, you can see how this has like a little D shape. You just make sure that that lines up right with this, and then everything's gonna, with this white thing, and then everything's gonna be fine. So, because it's, like I said, again, it is a timer that, you know, this does rotate, and it turns the heat on, keeps rotating just enough to free the ice, and then it just starts to rotate it, and then, you know, the ice falls out. Like I said, this will just pull off easily if it's not fried, you know, to the connectors, which this one was. You can see this connector up here, totally fine. I've found that it's always these down here that end up burning up. So don't replace this whole unit. I think it's like $100. It's a waste of your money. It's just going to keep happening. The simplest fix, that's cheaper fix, is these. And like I said, I'm just going to sand these up. I will try and put this one back in and see if it does work, so it will last for, you know, and usually they do last for another 3, 4, 6 months, whatever. And then I'll still always have my backup, you know, so when this does fry again, because it does get worse. And like I said, I've had to throw a little solder in here, not this one particularly. I threw that one away. You see, I just tried to bend this down a little bit, just with my thumbnail, so it would have a better contact there. Like I said, I'm just going to sand this up and try and get it to have a nice clean contact again. Sand up all these pieces here, and I'll toss the old one back in, give it a whirl, see if I can get another 6 months out of it. But that's all I got, YouTube. Like I said, it's only 3 screws. It's easy to get this whole thing out, and that's your problem. I mean, these things just go. And again, I find them on eBay. You might be able to find them on Amazon too, I'm not sure. But I've always bought them off eBay, and that's about it. So if you got any comments, questions, you know where to reach me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks, YouTube.